What's up, everybody? John Henry, both sides of the conversation. Today, we are at City Hall for the kickoff of our African American History Month. We talk about resistance. We talk about the power of the people. We are here together in unity. We had a phenomenal event today. The mayor with a phenomenal speech. Our guest speakers, and amazingly, the community here in support. Again, we're walking in solidarity in 2023 when we talk about community. When we talk about this Black History Month.
In the perpetual hope that we shall overcome someday. In the God of love, holiness, righteousness, and justice, we do pray. Amen, amen, and amen.
The African American, as in our name, the African American Historical and Cultural Society is about history and culture, and bringing those two things together as part of our celebration. We're doing something a little different today. I want to bring to you a representation of our history and how that history ties in with the culture. To that end, we've asked Lance McGee, aka Unique Derek, to come and perform for us, give us a little bit of a history lesson about the ham bone, how the ham bone relates to African American history and culture. Lance is an internationally celebrated performer and trauma-informed wellness coordinator. The goal of his performance is to increase the awareness of ham bone and its evolution from Africa to modern North America. Ham bone is both a physical and metaphoric form of expression in the African American community through many.
I say warrior, you say drummer. Warrior, drummer. I say ham, you say bone. Ham, bone. I say step, you say dance. Step, dance. I say paten, you say tuba. Pat, tuba. Honoring the ancestors of the enslaved African warrior drummers, I stand before you in a dedication to them, in a dedication to their struggle and their resistance. You can't take something away from me that I feel. Enslaved warrior drummers from Ghana, they were the ones to protect the tribe, the families. If they saw you coming, they would play a rhythm. The sound of that rhythm and that beat would travel to another warrior drummer. And he would respond. So yes, the drum was used as a communicator. Like we have the iPhone, I call it the drum phone. Now, unfortunately, in our culture, throughout the Americas, those warrior drummers were not allowed to play those drums because they could try and break away from those institutions called slavery. They went back to the body. When we talk about resilience, you can't take away something that I feel. When we talk about resistance, you can't take away something that I'm going to find a way of taking nothing and making something. I say warrior, you say drummer. Warrior. Inside American history.
Lift every voice and sing. Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmony of liberty. Let all rejoicing rise. In the highest of listening sky. Let every sound loud as the rolling sea. Oh yeah, sounding good. Oh, sing a song for the faith that come as this far. Sing a song full of the hope and the present. Yeah.
Wow, what a very wonderful turnout to really kick off Black History Month in San Francisco. Thank you, Al Williams and the African American Historical Society for your work in ensuring that the history and the legacy of Black people in this city continues to be highlighted in such a significant way. I do want to take a moment before I begin my remarks in honor of Black resistance and the theme of Black History Month to just recognize someone who basically was probably the poster child of Black resistance. Just recently, I'm sure many of you heard that Charlie Walker passed away, and I would like to take a moment to just really recognize his legacy and what he has done. You know, when not many people had the courage to stand up against injustices during a very difficult time, Charlie Walker was one of those people here in the city and county of San Francisco who was unapologetically Black, who continued to fight to provide opportunities. And as much as he made sure that his voices was heard, he was not afraid to make people uncomfortable with his words. And so I do want to take a moment to recognize him and his legacy here in the city and county of San Francisco with a moment of silence.
This, I would say in 1851, this man was born a free man. His name was Charles Tinley. Charles Tinley is the guy who wrote and composed the song, We Shall Overcome. A bit of information that most of you don't know. The original lyrics to We Shall Overcome was, I'll overcome. And when you see deep in my heart, I do believe, the lyrics were, if in my heart I do not yield. It's powerful, very powerful. In order for us to change other people, sometimes we have to change ourselves. All right? Now, We Shall Overcome, I will be switching the words back and forth as it was originally written. If you want to go look it up in the library, you can. I'll overcome, we shall overcome, if in my heart I do not yield. We shall overcome. And I think that word should be, that little passage should be readopted into that song. If in my heart we do not yield. So I will perform for you, We Shall Overcome, and let the Spirit speak to your heart. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. I will overcome today. Today. Oh, dear. My heart.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. And before I start, how about another round of applause for Brother Lawrence Beeman? Lawrence gave me chills, brought me back to my junior usher days when I was at Mount Teman Church in Elizabeth, New Jersey. Good afternoon, and thank you for the honor and privilege to contribute to the African American Historical and Cultural Society Black History Month Kickoff event. Mayor Breed, it's an honor to be here with you. I bring you greetings from your colleague, Mayor Bass, who I've known most of my career, and I've probably spent more time with her in the last 2 weeks than I have in the last 15 years, but she's doing well. So as we commemorate this period of remembrance and recognition, we do so with the clear understanding, as Mayor Breed said earlier, we stand on the shoulders of giants. As Nicole Hannah-Jones mentioned in the 1619 Project, the very people who were not supposed to be part of our democracy have played the most pivotal role in creating it. You know, as Mr. Williams mentioned, I'm a professor and a practitioner in public policy and the public service space. But as I share my thoughts on resistance today, I'm just going to ask your permission if I can be a little personal, because it's something I don't get often time to do. Resistance is the historical and essential component of our basic survival, and each of us should be consistently mindful of our responsibility in that regard. I spend a lot of time in my home office, and on the walls of my home office I have images of black leaders, icons, athletes, and looking at them, I feel like I owe a debt. I remember Olympic sprinters Tommy Carlos and John Smith in the 1968 Olympics with their raised black gloved fists that expressed their discontent for the conditions facing black America. Brothers who, by the way, were referred to as, quote, two dark-skinned stormtroopers by a legendary broadcaster who will go unnamed in an open display of his racist attitude toward the very players he glamorized each weekend. Muhammad Ali consistently called out racism and was crystal clear about not fighting for a country who viewed him as less than a man. And Colin Kaepernick, who is appropriately acknowledged on the poster for today's event, all of these men held a core conviction that racism and racist institutions endure and they were unacceptable. They held true to their beliefs, and as a result, they all lost their ability to work.
How do you do, everyone? I'm just amazed that you all came out, but I'm blessed, we're blessed to be in the presence of one another, not having to worry about COVID. Every day around this city, in our communities, our churches, our organizations, in our homes, and also across the Bay. So be sure to check these things out and learn something. We can always learn something new about African Americans and their contribution to this great country. And not just our history, but our culture and the way that we live and other contributions. So a few other announcements. The Society is going to sponsor yet another genealogy workshop on Saturday, February 18th at 11 o'clock at Booker T. Washington Community Service Center. It'll be our first in-person genealogy workshop since the epidemic started and the lockdown started in March of 2020.
That brings us to I want to mention that we do have, in your program you'll notice we have sponsors that supported this event and made it possible through their contributions to the society. Board members of the society are listed there as well. We want to thank them for their hard work and contribution. And as Ginger said, if any of you have any interest in history, not just African American history, but all these histories kind of intersect with each other at different points in time, we'd love to have you be a part of the society and contribute your wisdom and knowledge to that. And with that, I want to thank you all for being here this afternoon. And is Lawrence gonna, you got a mic, Lawrence? Lawrence is going to sing and give us another song for us on the way out. We'll have to sit with us and give us something.
We all have sorrow. Yeah. We know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not strong. 'Cause I'll be your friend, your music. I'll help you carry on. It won't be long. I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. If there is a Lord, that's your swallow your pride. If you ever
We will stand together and overcome, because that's what we do. The power of the people is so real. So with that being said, get out, Check out what's going on. It's going to be a number of Black History Month events taken all across this city over the next 28 days and beyond, because we're going to celebrate Kwanzaa all year long. We're going to celebrate Black excellence all year long. We're going to talk about elevating Black voices in the city all year long. That's what we're going to do. We'll continue to impact the people, uplift, and change that narrative. John Henry, both sides of the conversation. All power to the people. We see you. Another person blessed. That's what we do. Continue to bless the people.